Chloe's been dead for 5 months today. I need to go back. I've tried 100 times by now, and my powers are gone. I've tried to get them back, and nothing works. Maybe this will. I know it's desperate, but it's all I've left to try. Life or death.
Just a dream. Look up to the stars in the sky to ask them why. They reply by distantly shining. I look up and wonder if there is a heaven. The clock reminds me it's 5:37. I should probably go to sleep, but that is where my fears and fantasies meet. I should try to lie in my bed, but that's when I think of all things said. I count some sheep, some lilacs, some pink. I get up to get something to drink. I walk around my home, I roam. I can't believe this is the place I've grown. Realize my eyes can't open, they're dry, and to this fatigue I must comply. Wish I could fly somewhere nice, somewhere high, but the world will duly suffice. Somewhere cold as ice, filled with spice, somewhere where nobody lies to spite. A land where I can be free as the moon and as the trees. Yes, this is my insomnia song. If you know it, then sing along. Yes, this is my insomnia song. If you know it, then sing along. I count some sheep, some lilacs, some pink. I get up to get something to drink. I walk around my home, I roam. Can't believe this is the place I've grown. Realize my eyes can't open, they're dry, and to this fatigue I must comply. I wish I could fly high somewhere nice, somewhere high, but the world will duly suffice. This is my insomnia song. If you know it, then sing along. Yes, this is my insomnia song. If you know it, then sing along. Yes, this is my insomnia song. This is my insomnia song. Yes, this is my insomnia song. If you know it, then sing along. Oh, this is my insomnia song. This is my insomnia song. This is my insomnia song. Yes, this is my insomnia song. If you know it, then sing along. Yes, this is my insomnia song. If you know it, then sing along. Yes, this
shivering in the rain. Her clothes were heavy, drenched in water, salt water. Its distinct ocean smell briefly replaced only by the smell of ash and blood, and carried straight to her by the unrelenting, freezing wind. She opened her eyes, only to see the sight that she was too familiar with. The view from atop the lighthouse hill of the unnatural disaster that she caused. Only this time, she couldn't cop out of watching, because no matter where she looked, something inside her forced her gaze to return. The storm, the giant vortex of death of her own making, slowly consumed the town, car by car, building by building, street by street, person by person. Her body felt heavier the more it consumed. The storm itself was draining her, much like her powers did whenever she willed time to move backwards. She had control of them. She could simply make them stop. So she should be able to just stop the storm. But she chose not to. The weight of that choice physically manifested on her shoulders, pressing her down into the dirt, forcing her to her knees. But her eyes couldn't stop watching, and her ears listening. The tantalizing howling of the wind and the distant sounds of destruction slowly formed comprehensive words, like something out of a nightmare, whispering right into Max's ears.
How could you do this to us, Max? I thought we were friends.
Of course, you chose that Diet Carrie over the rest of us. Why am I even surprised?
You just don't want me to be happy. Warren deserves better than you.
I was nice to you despite Victoria. Hi.
Why didn't you just stick to your shitty selfies?
Now Flynn will never smile again. Thanks to you.
I always wanted you in the vortex club with us.
even
But Taylor said you'd kill the vibes. Guess you're killing more than just that, huh?
I always knew our friendship was a lie. I could never be friends with somebody like you.
Hey! Thanks for killing me, Max. Real badass.
I hope you took a nice selfie when the storm hit, Max. You might win a Pulitzer.
You hated me so much, you'd rather see me die than let me be with Warren. And you don't even care about him.
Why don't you go jump off the lighthouse again? For real this time, Max.
Even Nathan wouldn't do something as fucked up as you. He's just sick. You're evil. You know what you're doing.
Arcadia Bay has a population of 5,000. How many innocent people died to save that girl? Do the math, genius.
An angel can
Why are you doing this to
What
us,
are
Max?
Chloe's personal
How
thought.
many more people will you
I thought we became friends. What did I ever do to you?
If you can't have him,
How
then
could you
nobody.
do this?
Is that
We
it,
always
Max?
liked you,
What did
Max.
Arcadia Bay ever do to
Save
you?
my life?
We always
Just so you could kill me?
Wow, Max.
How cruel.
You've really outdone yourself this time.
I was right about you from the start.
Your plan all along. Well played.
You disappoint me, Miss Caulfield. You have told another lie. Miss Derrick.
The voices of her friends, acquaintances, the people of Arcadia Bay. The weight was so heavy. She didn't need to watch. The darkness took over her sight again. She was watching a laptop screen. On the other side there was a small room, and inside the room was a plain metal slab, and strapped to the slab was Chloe. She was out of sorts and disheveled. Her shirt was a torn rag on the floor. Next to Chloe stood a young woman holding a knife in her hand, and the blade was red with blood. By Max's shackled wrist there was a small table with a phone on it. A voice, deep yet slightly nasal, comes through to smugly chastise her.
You disappoint me, Miss Caulfield. You have told another lie. Miss Derrick!
No, I swear. No, please. Stop hurting her. Please. I'll do everything you want. I swear.
One line for every lie.
The knife cut into Chloe, drawing another line of red. Her screams curdled Max's soul. She tried to hold them in, but she couldn't. She would do anything to stop them.
Please. I swear I'm done fighting.
Will you take any further action against me?
No, I swear it.
You continue lying to me, Miss Caulfield.
No, please. You win. I can't fight you. I see that now. I'm begging you. Please stop. I'll do anything you ask.
One line for every lie, Miss Derrick.
Stop! Don't touch her. I'll fucking kill you.
Max's wrists were bleeding from fighting the cuffs. She couldn't rewind all this way. He knew what she could do, and he could stop it. Like in a fever dream, she watched Chloe scream and weep and yell profanities at that knife-wielding bitch. They were somewhere far, somewhere she couldn't reach. This was what despair felt like.
Finally, something truthful, Miss Caulfield. You have such drive in you. It is a shame you wouldn't take my generous offer. So unfortunate that we have crossed the Rubicon now, so to speak. Imagine if you had only listened to reason all along.
You fucking asshole!
Miss Caulfield, I would appreciate it if you watched your language. I will not ask again.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Look, I surrender. Okay? You made your point. You won. I'll do whatever you want. Just stop hurting her.
Repeat after me. I will do whatever you want, sir.
I'll do whatever you want, sir.
Going back on your word already? I cannot stand being lied to. Miss Derrick?
No, I'm sorry. Please don't. Please!
Make it stop. She couldn't handle it. Make her scream stop. She never felt hatred like this.
Let's try again, Miss Caulfield.
You fucking sack of shit! How can you do this to anyone?
You will be disciplined for your language, Miss Caulfield.
Listen to me! I'll work for you. I mean it. I'm helpless and I know it. But I will go after you if you ever give me the chance. The more you hurt her, the more determined I'll be to kill you. Nothing you do now can make me feel otherwise. Go ahead and tell me if that's the goddamn truth.
There was a stretch of silence, only broken by Chloe's whimpers.
It is. It is indeed. Mr. Jefferson, take her back to the cell and work on her until morning. She is of no use to me, this willful.
A presence loomed behind her.
It will be my pleasure.
The room around her changed, transforming into black and white scenery. Harsh lights, storage boxes, clear backdrop. That infernal couch.
A time traveler. No wonder I couldn't keep you to myself. But that's okay, right, Max? You kept me with you anyway. Forever, in our dark room.
This couldn't be real.
You have no more power over me.
He leaned in, and she felt a prickle on her neck. His breath on her ear sent a shudder down her spine.
That remains to be seen, Max. Mr. Prescott wants you broken, and the man gets what he wants. We'll see how you feel by the time I'm done.
He undid her restraints. She wanted to immediately jump on his throat. but her limbs refused to obey beyond feeble twitching.
Do you like my new cocktail? You'll be just the right amount of conscious through it all. Aware, but helpless.
He held up her chin and stared into her eyes. Every fiber in her body wanted to get away from this sick bastard. She couldn't, and it was driving her insane.
Look at your pupils. That is perfect. You know, I didn't get the chance to have fun with you the last time. It was all work and no play. We can fix that now.
He took her hands and brought them behind her head, and once more he taped them together. As he leaned close, a repulsive sense of exposure and humiliation crawled inside her skull, drowning out rational thought. Fear rode alongside her breath as her heart hammered in her temples.
Let me go, you freak!
Such a commanding argument. How could I refuse? But I must admit I'm impressed, Max. You've put up quite the fight, unlike your dear friend here. If you ask my opinion, and I know you're dying to hear my opinion, she was hardly worth the dirt you walk on.
In a drug-addled haze, she noticed Chloe was right in front of her, lying on the floor. There was a bullet hole in her forehead.
Chloe, no! Chloe! I saved you! This isn't real! I saved you!
Her eyes fluttered open. They were glassy and unfocused. She spoke without looking at anything in particular.
You didn't save anybody. You got my mom killed, Max. My whole hometown. How fucked up is that?
None of it is real. Stop listening. None of it is real.
I asked you to save everyone. I would have done it myself, but the power was in your hands. Why would you turn it back? Do you really think I can live with this on my conscience? I might be breathing, but I'm dead inside.
She squeezed her eyes shut. It's not real. It's not real, she repeated to herself over and over. And yet, she fought to break free, to move, to kick and thrash in any way she could. Paralysis held fast, all the same. And then, warm fingers brushed into her hair, soft and careful. Their presence was a night and day contrast to Jefferson's nauseating touch. The hand held her nape, cradled her head. Warmth and comfort trickled through the cold dark like a beam of sunlight piercing the storm.
Shh. Sleep, Max. Nothing will hurt you. You're safe here.
The whisper was quiet, gentle. It overtook the accusing voices around her, firmly pushing them to the background. It lifted her thoughts above the rolling storm clouds.
You're safe here.
She held on to the words, lest she dive back into the maelstrom. Her eyes opened to a warm orange glow. There was a fruity, cherry-like scent in the air, and soft strings played on the stereo. Fingers gently combed through her hair, tender and soothing.
Chloe.
Hey there.
She put something down by the armrest. Her phone, probably. Max could easily hear a smile in her voice.
You were out a while. I was getting worried.
Her head was on Chloe's thigh, and she was holding onto her leg like it was a teddy bear. A well-honed bare leg, she couldn't help but notice. She didn't feel particularly inclined to move.
How long?
A couple hours. You were out cold, but then you had some kind of nightmare. You calmed down after a while.
Was it you? Holding me? Whispering?
Yeah. That was me. Not my first slumber party.
She gave her an appreciative squeeze.
Thank you.
Always.
She realized it was Message to Bears that was on, some of their newer stuff. Chloe must have knew she loved it, and wherever that smell was coming from, it was absolutely delightful. Scented candles, she guessed. There was candlelight all around them at any rate. It would all feel perfect, if only the memory of the dream didn't tarnish it so.
It was horrible, Chloe.
Want to talk about it?
It was way worse than I'm used to. Did Sean Prescott really capture us?
You saw that?
Yes. Was it real? Watching you get tortured? Just tell me.
Not for me. I mean, I didn't go through it, but it was for real. Betamax. She was able to escape after weeks of that madman. She went back through a picture and made sure it never happened.
It was stunning to hear her confirm it. What an awful thing to go through. Max could still feel the hatred inside her, all of that impotent rage. No wonder she wanted him dead.
And Jefferson, he's not around, is he?
No. That fucker is dead as can be. A semi flew through the police station and crashed through his holding cell. Only good thing to come out of that tornado.
She considered Chloe's words for a moment.
He deserved worse.
My thoughts exactly, Max. What's going on? You're not supposed to keep any memories. It's never happened before.
I don't know. Maybe dreams are different? I have no idea how all this works.
Do you remember anything else? Anything at all?
No, I swear. Just that awful dream. Maybe there'll be even more. As if I needed more nightmare fuel.
That's such bullshit. I was hoping you'd finally be able to sleep now, but I guess it's too much to ask for. It sucks to see you so tired all the time.
Oh, it can't be that bad. Not if you're there to rescue me from the boogeyman.
I wish. Sometimes there's nothing I can do other than wake you up. You've told me to just leave you alone so at least I get some sleep. But obviously, I'm not gonna do that.
She looked at Chloe through the corner of her eye.
You've been sitting here the whole time?
Nah. After I got you settled nice and comfortable, I worked out and showered. Then I came to check on you. I did my Max Whisper thing, then I, got a few chores done. It's safe to do things while you're sleeping, since I know you won't be rewinding it away. Been chilling here for the last 20 minutes or so. Sure feels nice to slow down.
I'm sorry, but you said you worked out? You?
Yeah, laugh it up, you nerd. We'll see if you're still laughing when I have to carry your limp ass out of trouble again because little Miss Oracle is having another vision.
Meow. Talk about a touchy subject.
Not really.
She pinched Max's arm.
I just like giving you shit.
Never noticed at all. You know, I want to keep asking you about a million things, but I feel like such a moron, shooting 1,000 questions per minute.
You're kidding. This is nice. Usually I'm the one with chronic amnesia. I finally get to be the infuriating know-it-all.
Well, now you know how it feels to have to explain everything all the time, I guess.
Oh, such heavy burdens we carry.
She sighed and rolled her shoulders, settling into the extra plush cushions.
It's a tough life, but we manage.
They fell silent again, and Max floated adrift in the super cozy ambiance. Chloe's fingers kept combing her hair, short fingernails tingling on her scalp now and then. Her other hand idly traveled up and down her arm, grazing it, caressing, stroking back and forth, back and forth. It felt nice. So nice. She could definitely get used to this.
Man, if I'm perfectly honest, I'm a bit, in the mood. Slow music, candlelight, a whole lot of touching going on. It's like custom built to get me going. I'm not made of stone.
Max's eyes snapped open. She suddenly bolted upright, grinning like a maniac.
Oh my god! You're totally trying to seduce me.
It was there for only a second, but there was no mistaking the sudden panic in Chloe's features.
What? Get over yourself. You were having a nightmare. I know what you like, and I wanted you to be comfortable when you woke up, and...
Uh-huh.
It's true. This is basically a new life for you. I want you to feel like you belong here, so...
You're so busted, Chloe. Just admit it.
She glanced down pointedly.
Nice short shorts, by the way.
Hey, fuck you, okay? I try to do something nice for you and this is what I get.
Max tilted her head, completely unable to wipe the smirk off her face. A part of her knew this was kind of cruel, but watching Chloe fidget was too damn amusing. Her cheeks flustered even more somehow.
Fuck, am I that obvious?
Actually, you were really smooth. And it was working too.
For real?
Her face brightened, but soon it transitioned into a cringe.
Look at me. I said I wouldn't be a creep, and now I'm pawing at you while you're sleeping. I don't know how to handle this, okay? One moment you're super into me. The next it's like we're back to square one. So I guess I figured, if you wanted to make a move, why not make it real easy for you? I swear we don't have to do anything. I know this is all.
Max closed the distance, cupped her jaw, and pressed her mouth to Chloe's. It might have seemed impulsive, but honestly, she wanted to do it since she showed up. No, much farther back. And every day that passed, and every minute after their last kiss by the lighthouse, all this time, she'd been wreathed in a fire of that memory. She'd roused it and fed it until it consumed her other life. Would she have jumped if they hadn't kissed? Would she have missed Chloe so if she hadn't stolen a taste of what could have been? Her response was intense. After a tiny moment of surprise, her arms slipped around Max's waist and pulled her in. Chloe's lips locked and tangled with hers, avid and hungry. She was breathing her in like there wasn't enough oxygen in the room. Max had done this twice. She had done it hundreds of times, and it showed. She knew her every tick and twitch. It was weird and eerie and awesome. Their mouths parted and they looked at each other. There was a wild flutter in her chest and such a sweet smile on Chloe's lips.
You're so hardcore, Max.
It was painfully tempting to take this further, but she had to hold back. There were way too many questions in her head. She kissed Chloe again briefly, just a peck and a smile, and then went back to resting on her lap.
Just letting you know for sure, I'm really, really interested in what you have to offer.
Wow. Okay. Way to assert your dominance, you cocktease.
That's why I'm the boss, right?
I know you're bullshitting, but you kind of are the boss. You're often 20 steps ahead of everyone around you. It's hard to argue with anything you say.
Doubt that ever stops you from trying.
Nope, sure doesn't. You know me well.
She wanted to stay in this moment. Let the conversation die and use Chloe as her pillow forever. Not give two shits about where they were, what they were doing, or what had happened. Technically, she could stay, she thought, if she simply rewound that minute over and over. But then, it would stop feeling special, wouldn't it? It didn't matter. The questions writhed in her thoughts, never far beneath the surface. The least she could do is face what she'd done.
So, you know what I have to ask about, right?
She tensed for a moment. She knew. Max clasped her hand, hoping to make it a bit easier to talk about.
Did anyone survive?
Yeah. There were plenty of survivors. Just not my mother.
I'm so sorry, Chloe.
Well, don't be. We've been through this already.
No, I mean it is just... I'm sorry it had to be this way. I'm sorry we couldn't have both.
I know you are.
She squeezed reassuringly.
Me too, but we have to look forward. I was a shitty daughter. I screwed up everything with her. But I can't go back to change that. All I can do now is make her proud of who I become.
She could tell this was another conversation they'd already had. She wondered how long it took for grief to become acceptance.
Don't know if this helps, but she was devastated to lose you. Inconsolable. It's part of the reason.
David's still around, by the way. And Queen Skank Victoria Chase. Since she wasn't even in Oregon at the time.
Okay, she could take a hint. Shut up about Joyce.
That's awesome. It's great that David pulled through.
He's a big damn hero. And I was a dumbass to never give him a chance.
And we didn't help?
We tried. I swear we tried. But we couldn't handle it. You came down from that hill and I watched you break down kicking through debris. You just lost it. We had to get away. It was too much.
So we simply left?
For a while. Well, I mean, we haven't officially gone back, but we're present. Remember all the money you're worth? You've thrown so much cash at Arcadia Bay that they might as well rename it Max Caulfield.
She had the audacity to wait for a beat.
Get it? Because, flattened.
You are the worst, Chloe.
And yet I'm the company you keep. Not that they even know it's you, anyway. We're shady people, everything anonymous, through charities and fundraisers. You went full Groundhog Day and taught yourself a million things in record time. It was the weirdest thing. You'd wake up, hang out for like a minute, make these insane phone calls, and suddenly you were exhausted again, asking me to do a few things while you slept as much as your fucked up nightmares would let you. Food vanished from the fridge. You'd whisper in your sleep about routing numbers and penny stocks among all the usual bullshit. It felt like living with the ghost for 3 days.
Man, I just overrode all that knowledge, didn't I? Way to go, Mean Max.
Will you stop with the self-flagellation already? You are the reason we're here at all. Besides, you taught me a lot. I know all the passwords and you left yourself cliff notes in the journal, so it's not all lost. We knew this would happen, okay? We planned for it. Trust your loyal minion in this.
More like babysitter, I think. Sounds like you're constantly taking care of me.
It goes both ways, believe me. You know how it is. Great power.
Great bullshit.
Yep, that's why we decided to stay officially dead.
It took her a moment to process what Chloe said. She sat up, frowning slightly.
Wait, what?
We realized it was the safest for everyone. You're a target. That makes everyone you ever knew a target.
For whom? Sean Prescott? I thought he knows who I am already. What difference?
She trailed off. Alarm bells were going off in her head all at once. She grabbed Chloe's arm.
Chloe, are my parents okay?
She gently patted Max's hand.
They're okay. Don't worry. In this timeline. Because you fixed it. Because we didn't run to them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
They got hurt? Because of me?
No. Because Prescott. But they're okay now. They know everything, actually. You took care of it.
She sighed, shaking her head.
I think it's time I start at the beginning and tell you the whole story. Or I guess you could read the journal and be done with it. Whatever you want.
Wait, they know everything? As in, everything?
Yes, Max. They totally know you're gay for me. Though it pains me to see how distraught you are about it.
You know what I mean. They know?
That you bailed on your scholarship and you're now a high school dropout? Yep, that too.
Chloe!
And that you're a time traveler. Yeah, you might have thoroughly convinced them of that as well.
She sat there in dismay, trying to imagine poor mom and dad learning that their daughter is now a superpowered vagrant. She could see every hope and dream they had for her vanish from their eyes. Dad's laughter turning to concern, to disbelief, to held-back tears. Mom would get annoyed first, then she'd be horrified. She'd weep until her eyes gave out. And then the realization turned inwards. She had imagined moving back home with Chloe for a while. She imagined coping together with their loss, figuring out their lives, finishing her studies, becoming a photographer. And most of all, she imagined herself scared enough never to touch these disastrous powers again. Chloe delicately wrapped an arm around her shoulders, as if afraid she might collapse under the weight.
You're finally getting it, aren't you? There is no normal life for us, Max. And you know what? Good riddance. Do you really want to worry about rent payments and career struggles? get us some degree and enter a rat race. You are a time traveler. Even more than that, what you can do is crazy. Some real superhero stuff. You can't possibly throw all that away so you can go back to a quaint little hipster life.
Chloe, I fucked up everything using these powers.
So, more of a reason to try harder. To use them, right? You got so wrapped up in my problems back then, you never stopped to think about the big picture. You can change the world, Supermax.
She snorted out an incredulous laugh.
Right. Or blow it up to pieces. You've been drinking far too much Kool-Aid.
Can't help it when I see the impossible happen every day. You'll come around. I'm not worried. So anyway, what will it be? Journal or story time?
I'd rather hear your voice, if you don't mind one way or another. I'll still read the journal later.
Fine by me. Let me go for a smoke break and we'll start. Take some time to look around. I know you're dying to poke your nose into every file and drawer.
That's outrageous. Are you calling me nosy?
No, I'm calling you a shameless snoop. I'll be right back.
Chloe leaned in and kissed Max's lips like it was a matter of course. Then, halfway to her feet, realized what she just did. She looked back at her like she'd just gotten in trouble with the principal. Max blinked at her, pressing her mouth to a thin line.
Shit, I'm sorry. I didn't even think about it.
Way to take me for granted, Chloe. You're getting comfortable way too fast.
I seriously didn't mean to. It just happened. I'm really sorry. I used to do it all the time.
It took everything in her to keep a straight face at Chloe's sudden panic. She might have been a bit of a sadist.
You will kiss only when I give you express permission.
She pointed at the floor.
Now bow before your mistress.
Her eyes widened. Her jaw dropped.
Your face, priceless.
You're such a brat.
She shoved Max back into the cushions, grabbed her phone and beanie from the armrest, and stomped off to the sound of her laughter.
And this is what I get for giving a shit.
The front door swooshed open and closed.
I can't help myself. I know terrible things have happened, and we're embroiled in all sorts of dangerous crap. But there's this deep-seated joy inside of me, filling me with hope and excitement. I did something monstrous to be here. Something monstrous that I don't regret. For the first time in months, I feel happy again. Does that make me a monster? It just makes you fucked up in the head,
she said to the empty space in front of her. She looked around the candle-lit darkness. The clock in the microwave said it was 1 p.m. Those were some seriously effective blinds and tinted windows. She noticed her coat and gun holster were on the chair next to the couch she was on, and chuckled at the mental image of Chloe struggling to take the things off her while she was passed out. The reminder that she'd actually shot people was quite sobering, though. Without much thought, she stretched over and dragged the coat closer, ready to dig through its pockets. It was hardly snooping when she was rifling through her own belongings. 1 empty plastic baggie, 1 switched-off phone, 1 magnetic band security card, Prism, the logo red under the stylized cube outline, 1 pack of sugar-free gum, strawberry, 1 fancy-looking taser, holy mother of God, and, in an inside pocket, the same ratty old Velcro wallet she had since her 13th birthday. The Velcro didn't even stick anymore, but she would forever cherish all the slots and now broken zippers and side compartments. So compact, yet useful. She pried it open and was greeted by a photo of Chloe. She's sleeping, blue hair all over her face, mouth slightly open, 1 cheek pushed up a bit by the pillow. Inside its usual slot is her driver's license, but it's totally different. It was an Oregon license for one, and in the picture, Max had longish dark hair and lipstick? Ew. She looked at the name, did a double take, rolled her eyes, and face-palmed. A Apparently her official name was Lauren Frostnow. That was the name of her level 85 undead mage. Pretty cool name, you could say.
Yeah, it's final. You are an irredeemable nerd, Max.
Nothing else seems to have changed. $15 in cash. I thought we were rich now, she thought. And she even kept her Blackwell student ID tucked all the way in the back. A painful dash of nostalgia. She pocketed her wallet and powered on the phone, terribly curious about her message history. Actually, no thanks. Fuck you and your 4-digit PIN. Have a nice day. She put the phone back and got up, gaze wandering about. Chloe was taking a while. She would have gone to find her, but could have done without the smell of smoke. Might as well occupy her mind with something, right? She wondered what kind of food they had. She shuffled into the kitchen area and started opening random cupboards.
Ooh, cookies.
She dug into the box and fished out a few. Chewy chocolate biscuit with coconut flake frosting. Yum. Munching away, she headed deeper into the belly of the beast. Her sock-clad steps all on their own, drawing closer to the giant bed beyond the open doorway. There was a laptop on the counter, but nah, it would take too long to boot up and poke through. I mean, it might be Chloe's, and she respected her privacy. Yes. Walking into the bedroom, the reflection on the standing mirror was the weirdest reality check. Skin-tight, long-sleeve black shirt with matching slacks. Fingerless gloves. Badass as hell if you ask her. And she could perfectly envision Chloe painting the dark shade of blue on her nails. And a shiny golden mane down to shoulder length, finger-combed every which way. It seemed as weird as fuck to her eyes. She sure hoped the dye washes off like she promised. She looked so small. Gaunt even. Was she developing an eating disorder? Better eat one of those cookies for the greater good. She used the convenient hair tie on her wrist to redo her ponytail while she surveyed the room. A wall-spanning closet, dressers and lamps on either side of the bed, and a tiny chair and desk with another laptop on it. A beautiful Spanish guitar hangs by the window, easy to reach. The bed was neatly made and super fancy, round mattress and everything. There was an adorable eye-patch-clad teddy bear on it, with a striking resemblance to the captain. And, yes, finally, there was her Chloe. Empty beer bottles and clothes scattered on the floor, somewhat hidden by the right side of the bed. She got a feeling this wouldn't be nearly as endearing after months of living together. She opened the top drawer of her own dresser. Hair clasps and ties, mints, tissues, guitar picks, gummy bears, a watch. A selfie of them in front of the Seattle skyline at dusk, somewhat smiling. They looked just like she remembered them in that one. Chloe in some park somewhere, red-faced at the top of a chin-up. A shot from behind of Chloe on that very bed, on her stomach, using the laptop. Her hair, wet and combed straight, was a blue cascade on her neck and shoulders. It looked freshly dyed, and, she was only wearing her panties. She spoke strictly as an artist when she said that the contours of her shoulder blades drew enticing shadows on her skin. She was convinced this is the only reason why she took the photo. She put them away and opened a second drawer. A massive binder took up the whole space, barely leaving room for a few pens and colored markers. Upon its black surface, 2 words were written in silver. Selfie Archive.
There's no way I've been working on a portfolio on top of everything that's going on.
It weighed a good 10 pounds. She hauled it onto the bed, sat next to it and lifted the cover. Each page was thin white cardboard with a 5x5 grid of plastic sleeves, and each slot contained a selfie of some description. Sometimes both of them, sometimes just Max. Every photo had a time and date scribbled on its white frame. They started at the end of October, and it was mostly one per day, sometime during the evening hours. With very few exceptions, They were utterly joyless and uninspired, like they were taken as part of some kind of routine. She picked one at random and slid it out of its sleeve. Her handwriting was on the back, before going to bed. She tried a few others with the exact same result, then searched for one with daylight. December 14th. Chloe was mid-eye roll in this one, before retrieving fake IDs.
Okay, awesome.
She flipped to the last one, a bit past the half-full mark. It was the photo she jumped through today, dated March 7th, 9:35 a.m. Chloe wrote on this one, big bold letters that took up nearly the whole frame, before saying goodbye.
Poor Chloe. I wonder if I've ever pranked her with this. Maybe one of these days I'll pretend to be from the future after taking a picture and tell her to do laundry and dishes or the whole place will catch fire while we sleep. Don't argue with me, Chloe. It's the only way. I can't decide whether it would be funny or just totally messed up. Probably both.
Energetic strides subtly rocked the RV, and she sensed more than she heard Chloe's approach.
Max?
In here.
There was a pause in the steps. The music went quiet, then changed into some other band Max didn't recognize. It started coming out of speakers inside the room somewhere. She liked how it started. Mellow strings and female vocals, rich and soulful. Glass bottles clinked together out there, which she guessed meant Chloe opened the fridge. There were two distinct thuds, one after the other, and then the burbles of pouring liquid, after which the fridge door closed again. The tempo picked up, percussion coming in short bursts of depth. Max wondered if she was playing it for her benefit. She was falling in love here. It was a weird thought. She probably had new favorite bands that she didn't know yet. She didn't exactly keep up with new music during her 5 months of emo heartache. Chloe's head poked through the doorway, black hair down to her collarbones under the blue beanie. She seemed greatly amused.
Yep. I didn't for a moment expect you to stay put. There are mystery drawers to get into.
Max held up her last cookie.
You were holding out on me, so I had to take matters into my own hands.
Ha!
She was carrying an open beer bottle in one hand and a glass full of purple in the other. She left the glass on what was obviously Max's dresser.
Grape juice for the tight ass.
Thanks, Mom.
Chloe bounced onto the bed and sat with crossed legs next to her and the album.
A productive snooping session, I see.
And a lengthy one, too. You took a while.
I chill for a bit, too. And munch on a mint, because Princess Maxine Hemsworth III doth protest about the smell and the taste.
Really? It never bothered me that much. It's all part of the tats and tube package.
Mm-hmm. Say that again after months of living together. I'm quitting, anyway. Down to 2 a day. I started smoking to piss off my mom and David. Now I feel like a jerk every time I light up.
Oh. Foot, knee, mouth. That's, I was just teasing. Sorry.
She found herself terribly distracted by Chloe's proximity. She was so damn gorgeous. Sitting there in her shorts, flimsy shirt, and cute hat. When did this start happening to her? They slept in the same bed before, and she didn't think twice about it. It's like all the talk of romance had made Max hyper-aware of her physicality.
So, whatever the hell is this?
She asked while gesturing at the binder. Deflect and move on. Good strategy. Chloe smiled like she knew exactly what was going through her head.
You can't guess?
Well, yeah. The fucking Necronomicon in my hands.
Dude, you're so dramatic. Just let me tell you the whole story, otherwise we'll keep going back and forth with questions forever. Not that it would bother me since you're rewinding all of it.
What? Why?
Wait. Let me set up the marker.
She stretched over to the teddy bear and propped it up so it sat on her nightstand.
There. Did you rewind yet?
No.
Alright, cool. So watch first mate Bongo, then rewinding and stop at the moment he moves. Don't go any further, okay? You even got a 15-minute buffer of me smoking in case you overshoot, because I plan ahead like that.
Jeez. Why do you want me to rewind this so bad? Is the story that awful?
No, dummy. Well, it is pretty bad, but that's not the reason. We just need to test your powers to see if anything's changed. And we're gonna have to rewind over something, so away goes the info dump.
But that means you won't remember any of this. You're okay with that? It feels so wrong.
Chloe shrugged.
You've always struggled with that way more than me. It literally makes no difference from my point of view. If anything, it makes me feel bad for you. Always so guilty about it.
Well, it's like stealing your memories. I remember doing it so casually to everybody when all this started. Ha ha, let's see how she'll react if I say something else. Shouldn't have been like that. I feel gross thinking about it now.
Not saying your heart is in the wrong place or anything. Just, it's no big deal if it happens.
She tilted her head towards the teddy bear and smiled.
That's why First Mate Bongo is here to help you. Because I'd love to keep that badass kiss on the couch. To put it in words you'll understand, it was hella amazeballs.
Her laugh was so sudden, it came out with a dorky snort. Who cares?
I'll do my best. I promise.
Alright, all formalities out of the way. Let's get this story rolling.
She took a swig of her beer.
So, what's the last thing you remember? Top of a cliff? Reality throwing a fit as we yell feelings at each other?
The memory was usually enough to bring a wet sting to Max's eyes, but the way she put it made her chuckle instead.
Yeah, pretty much. You gave me the butterfly picture and you told me it was the only way.
Okay, that's when you pull out your journal and show me. Weirdest moment of my life.
Chloe wriggled up the bed and leaned back against the headboard. She patted the pillow next to her.
You might want to get comfortable. This will take a while.
Come and see the light of day out in the open. It's like I'm waking from a dream. Oh, many days since I have seen the end unfolding. Many times that I've looked back. It's like I've been there. It's like I've been there. And you were right here. And you were right here. I'm gonna turn back. I'm gonna turn back.